Welcome to the Coach's Corner. Coach Clarence is an entrepreneur, financial expert, and passionate about helping people build and market their business. He has a creative flair for thinking outside the box and is always looking for the positive side of life. Now, here's Coach Clarence.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fit Over 40. I'm your host, Coach Clarence, and I'm in the studio by myself today. And I am talking today about a subject that comes up a lot. So I wanted to do a brief podcast in between the other shows. By the way, we got some great shows coming up, some really exciting guests who will empower you, make you better humans, help you with your struggles, both financially, physically, and mentally. That is the game. That is what we're doing with Fit Over 40. And I'm excited to be here. Today, I'm talking about the question I get a lot from a lot of female clients. I want to lose weight. I heard that I should be eating 1,200 calories. This theory went back years ago to the 1918s. There was a gentleman who wrote a book, and he talked about 1,200 calories. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to put him out there because with anything, there's a good and bad. There's people who it works for, other people it won't. And you have to be able to break down the science and why it works for some people. And you've heard me say this over and over and over again, and I'm keep repeating it. There is no one diet that's perfect for everyone, okay? Problem with these super low calorie diets is they're not sustainable. And people struggle with starvation, feeling hungry, having hunger cravings, feeling things in them that are bothering them because their hormones are imbalanced, and it's hard to do. And another thing, too, is it's so easy to overeat on a 1,200 calorie diet because if you're not tracking your macros and no one's ever introduced that to you and you've never actually seen it, how easy it is to go over that. That's why some people really struggle on those. I'll give you an example. If you are on a 1,200 calorie diet, I'm going to break it down for you. Get example. A whole pizza plus 2 beers is 2,200 calories, okay? A burrito, 2 margaritas, chips, and guacamole is 2,000 calories. A gourmet burger with fries and cola is 1,500 calories. Pasta with chicken and roasted garlic, 1,900 calories. So as you can see, it is very easy to overeat. So clients get in trouble. The average person, excuse me, is really eating north of 1,800. And when I sit down with clients and I have them go through a calorie test with me and we just write down and I plug it in exactly what they eat, it's higher than that sometimes. So it's very easy to overeat. And if you're partying on the weekends, football just started back up, people overeat. And then you just free fall, and then it's this up and down. Then you get frustrated, and then you go back to starving. It's this vicious cycle that you don't have to have. And I'm here to tell you some of my biggest successes with clients came when I had them eat more than what they thought they were eating. So, but it's hard because you got to overcome this mental thing that I should be eating more. It's not so much eating more food, it's more quality food. And that makes a difference. And then what you'll find is if you eat enough of that the right way, you're not really eating that much, you're getting quality calories, okay? But I will say this in fairness, there are 3 types of clients who will do well on a 1,200 calorie diet. Very small women, small women in stature, already very small. They may do well, and I've seen it, on 1,200 calories. Clients who are very advanced with nutrition, like athletes, people who do movies, and they have these super incentives to maintain a very healthy diet. The average person working, going to school, raising kids can't do that. It is very difficult. Another client for this protocol would be bariatric patients. That makes sense for someone who needs to lose weight rapidly for health reasons, okay? A lot of doctors who do the bariatric process will have their clients stick with something like this, and in some cases lower. I've worked with a couple women who had that, and eating 1,200 calories for them was a challenge. So let's talk about what's a better way to lose fat in general, okay? I'm going to say right off the top, go a little higher, eat some more, but eat more quality food. Break your food down into different meals, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about that. And you might say, well, how do we do that if I've been trying this 1200? There's little things you could do to bump that up day. I'm not saying jump from 1200 to 1800. You do it gradually. Like, for example, maybe you do 1210 calories. Maybe you do 1180 one day, then 1900. And then maybe you do, it's a gradual progression. The same way you don't want to cut your calories drastically, you don't want to just overdo it. You have to build these things up. And with coaching and someone holding your hand, you're able to do that. Okay. Some of the things that you should do, I'm going to give you 4 strategies. Okay. And here's what the 4 strategies are: that if you do this, you will be on the right track no matter what. Is include lean protein at every meal, every single meal, without a doubt. Protein takes longer than carbohydrates to digest or fats. It stimulates the release of hunger and appetizing suppressant hormones, as well as it drives your levels of hunger hormone ghrelin down. According to a lot of scientific theories, protein leverage hypothesis, often referred to as protein hunger in a lot of circles, the human body will keep hunger and appetite fired up until the basic protein needs are met. People who are overeating a lot of carbohydrates, that never gets met. And that may be one of the reasons why you're constantly hungry. Eating protein, with any of the clients that I've had, introducing more protein, they start to see the scale move right off the top. Okay. I'm not going to get into all the different protein sources. There are several, some of the big ones. Think about just, 1 or 2 palm sizes of every meal. You have some type of protein: fish, shellfish, chicken, turkey, beef, eggs and egg whites, cultured cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, tofu, tempeh, seitan, and different protein powders, depending on, what your eating regimen, what you believe in. So these are just some of the basics. I always start with protein, and I've done this for so long. Almost every single person, barring a few, had a very low protein intake in their daily diet. If I had them do a 3 or 5 day intake before I met with them, that's what I would always see. It would be a diet based around carbohydrates and a lot of fats. And we were able to adjust their weight just by getting more protein in. Next, I want you to increase your intake of non-starchy veggies, okay? Imagine this: you ate an entire head of cauliflower. You'd likely feel as you were walking around with a brick in your stomach, yet you'd only have consumed 146 calories, give or take. Now imagine that. It only has 146 calories, but you feel full, all the fiber in there. Now compare that to half a slice of pizza you get with the same number of calories, and you can understand why non-starchy veggies are very good to help with fat loss. Okay, loaded with lots of fiber and water. That's why it's important to eat veggies. Offer tons of volume, you feel full, and fewer calories. That's why I'm always telling my clients, eat veggies. Okay, and then every additional serving of veggies or fruits has been shown to associate with a weight drop. If you're a person who's eating a lot of starchy carbohydrates, if you start introducing veggies into your plan, you will lose weight. Now you might say, well, how do I do it? You have to gradually increase your daily target over time. So at least 4 fist-size servings a day. I like to use fist size because you can look at your hand and go, these are my fists. So whenever I'm out, and just grab it. Okay, take a spoon, put it in your hand and go, okay, that's a fist size, when you're trying to figure out your daily calorie intake. Increase the volume without really having a spike in your caloric intake. Veggies are going to be number 1 on that list, okay? All right. Salads are an easy way. Add in. Be careful with the dressing. Don't put too much on, just a little bit. And I've shown videos of just a little pinky. Eat a lot, okay? Number 3. A huge one: gravitate towards minimally processed whole foods. So many people are eating processed junk. In this case, it's high calories with no nutritional value. If you have more than 10 ingredients, some people even say lower than that. If you can't pronounce the ingredients, it's a bunch of stuff. Your food should just have what the ingredient it is, blah, 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 and this. If you got 15 ingredients, it's highly processed, okay? If it's enriched, meaning they have to put stuff in it to make it good, you don't want that, okay? Like, and there's some goodies on this list that we all have eaten, but if you're really trying to get healthy, let's cut down prepackaged foods that are marketed for weight loss, such as sugar-free pudding cups, packaged diet bars, fat-free hot dogs, low-carb bread, and diet shakes. These kinds of foods aren't usually satisfying anyway, okay? First of all, they don't taste really great. And again, they are loaded with stuff to make it taste good because it's been heavily processed. You don't need that. And typically, highly processed foods, you can eat more of them, and they have more calories. They have no nutritional bang for the buck, if you will. So how do you do that? Go through your cabinets, refrigerators, and make swaps, okay? DM me or email me for some swaps of foods that you like, and I'll get you some great alternatives. That could be your homework. Okay, for example, if you're a chip lover, like the football games are on, you like to chip and dip, which is a mindless way to eat 1,000 calories easily, okay? Think of alternatives. There's veggies you could do. You could dip veggies in hummus, and I'm just making up examples. You can create your own sauces. You can do your own chips. I've shown people how to make potato chips out of real potatoes that don't have all that crap and all the negative fats and stuff that make it stay on the shelf forever. You realize for something to stay on the shelf, they got to do things to it. You don't want something like that in your body. Food should be naturally decomposing on its own. Again, and pardon me, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I cover everything because it's easy for me to get off track and be on a tangent. So I'm keeping it simple. Stay away from highly processed foods, okay? Enriched, stuff loaded into it to make it last forever. And the last one, number 4, just by increasing your resistance training. I have clients who come to me and they say, I exercise every day. I exercise literally every day. How many? I do 2 hours. I go, what do you? Well, I'm on the treadmill or I walk. Okay, that's great. That's great. It's good for your heart. It's good for your mitochondria system, but you need to add resistance training, okay? It's usually weight loss is a great combination when you're doing it right, when there's some fat loss and there's some muscle loss. However, there's an associate increase in hunger hormones. Like, so you notice when you start working out, your body is craving more because it's trying to support the muscle you're building by working out. So strength training is one of the easiest things you can do. Some of the female clients I have, just getting them in the gym minimum 2 times, 3 times a week, they're seeing significant weight loss, okay? Building muscle craves energy to support itself, to break down and rebuild. All those are calorie requirement things. And if you're feeding yourself properly, you're going to get the payoff of weight loss, okay? I don't have clients do hours and hours of cardio. I may even have them do 2 days a week. Now, if there's something they're trying to get ready for, I may suggest extra cardio just to burn extra calories, but it is not required to be healthy. Most of my clients are seeing average 2 to 3 pounds a week, and it's not unhealthy, and it's sustainable, and they're enjoying a cocktail, a dinner out. We do it all in balance, and if you understand your caloric requirements, you can play with those dynamics and keep the weight the way you want to. So let's review again 4 things you could do right away, and you'll see the scale move without doing some ridiculous 1,200 calories. Okay, unless you need to. Maybe you're an actress or actor, or maybe you're an athlete and you need to cut weight really quick or something. But you're usually, if you're in that realm, you're pretty disciplined. I find the average person is not going to be that disciplined, and you don't have to be. We try to do realistic stuff that you can maintain forever. That is what I do in my coaching. I'm not trying to have people do things that they can't sustain. It just doesn't work. If you work in 4 hours, if you're a successful entrepreneur, business person, you don't have the time. I'm seeing people get in shape with 20, 30 minutes of lifting a couple times a week. Some in cases, body weight stuff, and then changing eating habits. You'll be surprised how much better you feel, if that even makes sense, how better you feel when you clean up your diet. Cleaning up your diet is going to really correct you. Your body will start to naturally correct itself. You'll find out what works and what doesn't work. So Make sure at every meal you have some type of protein in there, lean protein. I'm not just talking about fatty pieces of meat, and make sure it's really lean, okay? Because you can easily overdo it when we talk about fat. Make sure it's good sources, whatever protein you like, that's a lean source. Your chickens, your egg whites, your eggs, steak, shrimp, fish, whatever you like, okay? Find out what you like, figure out the measurements, and work that into your process. Number 2, this is always going to be on my list. Increase your non-starchy vegetables, okay? Every meal, whether it's fruit or veggies, increase that. There's fiber, and you can't eat a lot of it, and it feels good. Like if you've ever really eaten a lot of, like for example, if you had a big giant bowl of broccoli, it feels like you ate a ton, but when you look at the calories, it's not a lot, okay? But you're getting something that's going to keep you full and has fiber, and it's going to clean you out, versus eating a bowl of pasta, which has a ton of calories, is not going to do anything for you, especially if it's processed, which leads me to number 3, get away from processed foods. Make your own food at home. If you like some, there's a good recipe that you can change it up with. I did a video about veggie pastas that are made out of vegetables. There's all kinds of things you can do to clean it up, okay? Number 4, and the last one we just talked about, lift some weights. Get in the gym, ladies and gentlemen. You want to change your physique, you got to lift some weights. You'll start to see changes if you just get on a regular regimen. Look at yourself in the mirror, see where your muscles are, see how things are looking. You'll find you'll have better success. The bottom line, what I say to people in any kind of diet, all diets are just a manipulation of calories, and where the calories coming from are the macros. There's no fancy diet. It's what works for you. And how does it work with coaching? You have to document what you're doing, whether you're taking pictures, whether you're stepping on the scale every day, whether you are writing down, this is how much I ate, this is how I feel, I've lost inches. You have to be the master of yourself, and you have to start paying attention. Data is how you win. Our coaching is data driven. It is not guesswork. I've been at this for 33 years. I've seen a lot of different people. A lot of different people have come to me for different things. Hey, I got a wedding in 6 weeks. Okay, I'm going to be honest and say it's going to be drastic. I don't want you doing this forever, but let's just help you get in the best shape you can get in for that 6 weeks. If a person says, hey, I got a year. Okay, great, because we're going to build some good habits in a year. That's what it's all about, folks. Stop going on this on your own. It doesn't hurt to have a conversation. Yes, I can show you how to do a bench press correctly. Yes, I can show you how to do a squat. It's what you're doing outside the gym that's affecting you. You've heard abs are built in the kitchen. That's right. You can do all the crunches in the gym you want, all the sit-ups, buy this supplement. No, it's balancing out your eating. That's number one. Number one. That's going to give you the best results. If you're doing some athletic endeavor, you have to make sure that you're eating the right foods to support that. All right, folks, I told you I was going to keep this short and sweet today. Talked a little bit about the 1,200 calorie. And I do think I should tell you about the gentleman who really kind of is credited with this process. And his name is, and I have it in my notes. Let's see, where do I go? Okay. Lulu Hunt Peters, MD, released the book. Diet and Health with Keys to the Calories, okay? And that book is still popular. It's been reprinted. It is credited with a lot of stuff. If you want to read it and take a look at, there's some funny stuff that he suggested years ago, like women brushing their hair 20 times. It's interesting. It's an interesting read if you want to study it. A lot of the diet myths came from that era. So as we learn more, we adapt. Pay attention to data, okay? Pay attention to your specific data, because all of us are different. All right, with that said, guys, I will see you next time. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Let other people know who you think might benefit from this type of information, and we'll go from there. And I'll see you next week on Fit Over 40.